I restarted a stream, I just updated DBD. I've been getting issues authenticating my Ethernet cheat, otherwise I'll try to repair that if I'm still getting issues. I'm on a new PC, so I might have a weird setting that's fucking with it. Could have just been my firewall. Let's see if this works. Okay, looks like it fixed. No. Oh, do you hear my fan? Maybe that's better. I'll move it. I'm inside. I just had issues with launching using anti-cheat, and it's been kicking me from the server when I tried to start a match. They activated the blood hunt. I need to restart the game. Maybe that's why. You're not gonna save, I'm just gonna drop him here, dude. I took the long way around, getting incentivized to save my face. I'm not really concerned with actually being watched. I mostly stream just for the replays, for the VODs. There's no replay system in DBD. If behavior released when I'd stop streaming that day. And if I was looking for viewers, I wouldn't play this way. It's less entertaining to watch. It's more fun to play, it's more fun to play against, but this is a horrible thing to like actually try to make content out of. I'm not a content creator. We've got a skull merchant daily, so we can, what's it called? Farm some traps. Well, I'm sure people do, and in the past, people have, especially on Twitch. I actually had a lot of people that would come in and watch me after, they had a really rough killer game. Almost like a chance to see the survivors kind of get theirs, vicariously enjoying it through my gameplay. But for the most part, I think that what people look for in DPD content is an entirely different beast. I'm glad you enjoyed, though. I do think it's wholesome if somebody can get something out of this. One of the problems with Dead by Daylight, and it's not a problem, but it's like one of the things that makes it a hard time performing and succeeding in the game, is that it doesn't really teach you how to play. And I think a lot of people don't like unpacking in the game and the logistics of it and trying to find good uses of their time. It's hard to identify what's important and then make like intelligent decisions to get value and push for value. If you just look at what's in front of you and very A-B try to, I guess, bumper cars to do what's in front of your face as killer, you wind up trying to race the survivors, and if you don't play nurse, kinda Billy, there's no chance. So you have to snowball as killer. And a big part of that isn't just chasing people, or it's not just kicking generators, but it's also confining the map to the match to like a small part of the map and creating snowball situations. You occupy people, and there's more people than you, so there's a couple of steps to go into that. Because killer is not as strong as survivor, so you have to find like little angles to overcompensate for just the problems of the game. It's a lot of work, but if you get good at it, most of your matches will be really easy. This game is fun at all levels, so a lot of players never get very good at either side. It's not about being godly at the game, it's about being good enough to make matchmaking trivial. You don't have to be very good at the game to get basically my results. MMR is also capped. Behavior is more worried about fast queue times than fair matchers. And God forbid you're playing off-peak times, like right now, when there are like just few people in the pool. I think they get like a little bit more generous then than they usually are. MMR was initially capped at 1900, now it's capped at 16. But the seeks widen based on queue time. And so if there's fewer players and matchmaking takes a little bit longer, they open the seeks more aggressively and you can play against almost anything. You'll have to be more specific. That can mean a lot of things.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun. And we got the Scully daily out of the way. I don't really pay any mind to what people think. So like negative or positive comments for the most part, unless I'm like being engaged, don't really make a difference. Oh, okay, slugging. So the hard slugging, it saves time. Like if you hook somebody, this 4 survivor is alive, you don't have pressure. But if you slug somebody and you hook somebody else and you tunnel that person, then you have a lot of pressure. You tunnel somebody because 3 people are easier to control than 4, right? But if people don't split up, if people aren't efficient with their macro, it can be more time efficient to hit somebody and move on, to farm injuries, or even to slug somebody before you go into like what will probably become a tunneling procedure. Just because it just gives you more pressure and it gives you more leverage. If you run around the map and you use every tile and every resource as killer, you're probably going to lose. So the way you solve that problem is by confining the map to a 3-gen or a 4-gen, or you proxy somebody next to a regressing generator, or you have people committing altruism cycles where they're coming to you and like it makes the time game a little bit more manageable. Last game I reset people and dragged it out to farm my daily. I had a skull merchant daily. When I was a StarCraft player, I spammed the escape key a lot. It kept my hands warm. Now you'll see me spinning or moving, and it's a keep my hands warm thing. Especially in the winter. I'm a New Yorker, so when the weather gets cold, and it does in other months, you'll see me do a lot more of that. I don't have the same keybinds and the same patterns I did in RTS games in DBD, and so it takes a different form. Obviously, strong killers are better. Things like Chucky and Spirit, which are very respectable killers, less so, because frankly they don't have a ton of mobility and their cooldowns are long, but something like Billy, Blight, and Nurse are best. Blight on a very good map, and Billy on a very good map are probably better than Nurse, because they have a lot of horizontal mobility, much more than Nurse has. Nurse has more lethality. And on maps with verticality like Gideon's or like Midwich, Nurse will obviously be much better. If Killer functions in chase. Lower tiers can be fine too, like Wraith becomes a good slugger. Again, because of horizontal mobility, if you're just getting free hits and everybody sucks. Which is a real thing that can happen. Slugging is also both a slowdown perk and an information perk, because if you spend less time carrying people, less time in animation, you spend more time moving and you can check sight lines. You get more real-time information about the game if you slug, and that lets you put more slowdown onto your build. And slowdown scales exponentially. Slowdown perks are better as you have more of them. And so what's good for hard slugging also becomes different when different perks are in the meta. When we had Call of Rhino up in Overcharge, Nurse was way better than she is right now. And the lack of horizontal mobility mattered less because you could hold a 3-gen ad nauseum. Similarly, Wesker was also really good because you could make the game last so long that you ran out of supply cases. And you could play hit and run Wesker, you didn't even have to slug. You could literally hit and run drop chase after every infection until people ran out of cases. And then you had the short cooldown because the Wesker's cooldown is shorter with more people infected. They're all one hit and they run 8% slower at the time. Wesker was actually a really good killer in that meta. And I would argue fully viable. Play more killer, and if you approach the game like in the quote-unquote right way and you do a good job, you're not going to find many games that feel unwinnable, or even all that hard. It shouldn't matter. Even on Blight, do I really want to go into main? Probably not. RTS games helped, martial arts helped, chess helped a lot, playing MOBAs helped. DBD is a time management game, and you can think about things in terms of time gained and time lost. In Warcraft 3, we gave everything, items, experience, whatever else, a gold value. You can do something similar in DBD with time. People used to say that a health state was worth 22 seconds because that's how much time you could get off of a health state running in a straight line. And so healing was really good with the green medkit against M1s, but even with faster heals against a stronger killer where it would do less time and more of the quote-unquote time of the game in the killer's way, which is composed of running to you or being in proximity to you, you would stay injured even against shit like Nurse. Similar deal with a Spirit when she brought Mother-Daughter Ring and Yakuyoki, and she had a lot of map mobility on that kit. Now healing by that logic would be worth more like 17.7 seconds, and there's some differences. Like win cons can change with Death Hook survivors. Win cons can change with what's it called? Killer needing to snowball suddenly, like if you get ahead of the curve, then playing slower, healing away from generators that were already completed, somewhere where the killer can't go can be beneficial. Cleansing versus Plague is really bad, right? But if you can cleanse next to completed gens, and she has to hold a 3 gen, it's free. Good health state. If you find values, you can think about these things and you can kind of teach yourself. Yes, I play for fun. I really enjoy like a quote-unquote stress testy, like really intense game. I think I have even more fun with them, but if we're honest, I'm not getting that most of the time. And there is definitely a joy in the logistics of just playing in a way that makes sense and going through the motions. I love this stuff. It's very pleasurable. It's a very happy thing. And it's also, I guess, a kind of foreplay in a way, where if I give people the firm handshake of like actually playing well or as well as I can at the time, it changes with how sick or tired, how drunk I am, right? The things that change my capacity on any given day. But if I play in good faith and I do dumpster most of my matches, when I get like an actually like more competitively viable game, I get a different type of match. It's just that much better. I also believe in treating people the way you want to be treated, right? And just because I might be a little bit better than my lobby doesn't mean I should pull my punches too much. It's just sportsmanship to play it the right way. gotta respect the styptic threshold. We also have to respect the flip-flop threshold. No opinion. I'm a little bit mid about teabagging when it loses like important distance. If it's just like a personality thing though, or if it doesn't cost anything, I'm completely fine with it. I mean, we gotta be human, right? I don't think that it's healthy to be like super robotic. It's good to play a little bit. Even wild animals play. You ever see like a cheetah hunting an impala or a gazelle or something? Cats play with their food. They emote a lot. It's normal, it's natural. It never bothered me. I also think it's really unhealthy not to like emote at people as an ego thing if it's your personality to have to do so, especially like as a guy. I personally don't give a shit, but I know some people get like really into it, and it's like almost like a banter thing. I think that's healthy. I think there's something to it. And I think it can be like fun to get worked up a bit too, even if that's not really my style personally. I wouldn't knock it. The sweatier thing for me to do would be to go right to Claudette's hook, hook him if saved, otherwise just secure, and then leave him slugged. This is greedier, but it's worse. And I just feel like it works here. So that's like calculated rest. So you hit him on the pain rest hook instead. Almost never. At least as far as matchmaking is concerned, I lose about 3 games a year. Defining a lord as somebody getting out, be it through hatch or gate. My most no, I did lose one recently against TroPro. A streamer named Trolling Prophet was demonstrating cheats in my lobby and kind of fucked me up on Vecna when he was no. I had a lot of fun. He came into the stream after the game and we chatted. There's still a bot of it somewhere. But I think he had a good time too. I gave him a thumbs up after the game. Didn't report him. It was a game on Ironworks in Misery, and he moved his hitbox into the corner of the map so that I couldn't hit him. Yeah, something like that. Most of my games go like this. Oh wait, this is a bot. What am I doing? Yeah, he was speed hacking. And he was doing like a fun challenge to try to get people out. He got like a really bad team. I didn't camp him because I thought he could just unhook himself, because like a lot of people that are like really obvious cheating, like people that are running faster than the killer, can unhook themselves whenever they want, or they could also hook themselves, put the hook state on anywhere, whether there's a hook or not, so I mostly stayed away. But I two-tapped him with Flight the Damned, then like Vecna's M1. And I tried proxying, and I went for other chases. I should have camped him. I could have 4K'd. Because at the time, the self-on-hook thing was being detected, so he wasn't using it. And then he started just going like really fast, and he would heal by the exit gate, like on the other side of the exit gate every time he got hit. And then he found the button to move his hitbox, and he would just do gens in my face, and there wasn't much to be done there. But that was my most recent one. No. I don't farm DCs. There's no purpose to it. But because the Fang is disconnected, we're gonna hold her here and wait for the Dwight to bleed out, so Fang will be on death hook. So then Fang won't get a chance to 4%, and Dwight, who also wasn't hooked, can't get a chance to 4%. And if he has an Unbreakable, we can slug the Fang and chase him. And we can even wait out Unbreakable Soul Guard, so there's like less funny business. This makes it harder for someone to get hatch. I think it's really nifty. See, she dies. No 4%, no dies. And we outplayed the slippery meat. Well, you have an hour to look for them before the match shuts off. You can do things to try to keep somebody from bleeding out and the gens from going, and then you can try to like slug them together. If the last two survivors are hiding, I just patrol the generators. If they're not making progress, I'm happy to wait the hour until the match shuts down. They're both sacrificed that way. I don't mind like the long games. I will also check down sight lines. I will look for scratch marks, disturbed crows, people's models. I'll try to figure out where people are, but listen really closely for breathing. I don't mind hide and seek. I kinda like games like that sometimes. I said that DBD is like a logistics game. I really appreciate different problems, even if they're not like especially difficult problems. I just like having something sent to my desk and then figuring out what to do with it and then doing it. It doesn't really matter if it's a fast, explosive game or if it's something that's like really slow and methodical. I just get like a different type of enjoyment and like variety is the spice of life. I haven't had that yet, but I did have a game recently that I almost lost. I slugged everyone at 5 gens and one person was hiding on Midwich as a Huntress game, and I had to keep wiggling somebody off and looking for the other person that pre-ran with a low profile and lightweight, again on Midwich. And they almost got the last gen done and they almost won, in the sense of getting one person out in an otherwise hopeless situation, and that was really cool. That was really recent. That was one of my first games with the Weir Elk skin. Ah, there we are. No Mither Man. You're the one I want to tunnel. I do play Survivor. I actually play quite a bit of Survivor. I almost never stream it. And I mostly play solo queue, unless it's after 10. Because I have friends like 10 o'clock at night in my time that sometimes I play with. If I play Survivor during the day though, or like the really early morning, I'm playing solo. If it's like 10 to 1, I play Swift. And I really enjoy the whole Discord comms thing with Swift. It's fun to be a little bit naughty sometimes. And play like a little bit abusively. I use shaders too, but Discord is like the closest thing to real cheating that I let myself enjoy. And it can be really filthy. In a fun way. Sportsmanship. If I'm playing killer, one, I don't care if people stream snipe me, but also the survivors don't know that I'm streaming. If I play Survivor and I stream, people can just look me up and then they have eyes on my teammates. I wouldn't mind personally playing against a killer that was stream sniping me if it was just me, but I'm sensitive to other people and the integrity of the experience. I still do sometimes, but it's like really unethical. It's like if the killer could equip Bond. I mostly play solo queue. And I like solo queue more unless I'm playing with people, but when I Swift I do abuse Discord, it's a lot of fun. It's a different game though. Well, Survivor gameplay isn't about creating interaction like this. Like when you play Killer, right, it's almost like playing a dating sim, where you're trying to instigate as much interaction and as much of a relationship with the survivors. If the Killer didn't exist, the survivors would split up, they would do generators, and they would leave immediately. I never told anybody. A big part of Killer gameplay is making the survivors do things other than generators. They have to pre-run, they have to respond to your turrets, they have to respond to your chase. You have to give problems, because if they don't play in a certain way, you're going to tunnel their friend or you're going to tunnel them. They have to split up aggressively, teammates or lava, or you can slug them, and I will slug them if they fuck that up. They have to do generators slower to play in a way where I can't abuse them. They make a lot of concessions, and that's why gen speeds can be as quick as they are. The Killer has to snowball, and I want these situations where people are sniffing the floor, or people are running, or people are doing fuck all away from the generators, or doing resets, etc., and they're not progressing their objective. If I can progress my objective and they can progress theirs, that means I'm snowballing, that means I'm winning. As Survivor, it's almost like the opposite. You want to prevent the Killer from getting any traction. Like, this is a critical mass. This is something that the survivors probably can't and won't recover from. So this game is kind of fucked, it's doomed. This is like the Killer's win condition. The Survivor win condition is almost the opposite. You want to split up on different gens, you want to pre-run, you want to make it so that the Killer gets nothing. Ideally, the Killer doesn't even know where people are. I believe in pre-throwing pallets, I believe in running, I believe in Shift W, running away from active generators. I believe in making judgment calls. If the gens are flying, I'll die edge map away from gens. If I know that the gens are being slow and teammates are doing God knows what, I have to buy more time and I'll take more risks. I'll try to juice pallets and make them last longer. I don't know, that's their problem. I've never played a game of Dead by Daylight as either side where I didn't have a blast. I have a lot of fun when I play. And I think that if somebody's not having fun, that's a personality fault, it's a problem. I think that you get what you pay for. You get out of it what you pay for. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. If you're a good person and a healthy and good mindset, you're probably gonna have fun no matter how the game goes. It's a entertainment-rich facility. This is something that facilitates a lot of different fun, a lot of different types of fun, different types of stimulation, fulfillment. It's very nutritious, it's good for learning, it's good for your focus, it's a mnemonic device, it's something that gives you a platform to appreciate creative licenses. There's a lot of high fantasy in DBD. There's a lot of problem solving, you can have your own creativity, you can be emotionally invested, you have some suspense. If you can have all of these things and you have a shitty experience, then, I mean, that's a little bit alarming. Maybe it's an opportunity to grow up. And you gotta realize that, like, some people that quote-unquote hate things don't really hate them. It's just, like, loser mentality. It's, like, almost a fetish or something where people get off and have fun, mock complaining. It's not that serious. Very few people, I think, really hate. That happens sometimes, but I won't pretend I fully understand it. It's not really my style, and I can only speak for what I know. Or what I have studied. I also don't like to read too far into it because, like, the average DPD player is like 17 years old. There's a lot of youngsters in this game, and I can't, like, judge people too tightly or even, like, hold them to their own standards of their own behavior too much. Because I'm, like, 10 years older than a lot of these people. And at some of those age ranges, people are changing on an almost day-to-day basis. Like, life experiences are happening, different responsibilities and prerogatives are coming into their life. You have, like, hormones going crazy and going everywhere. People are different and they become different very quickly. And if people, like, exhibit really weird behavior, like slurs and swearing and, like, dramatic text, all caps and whatever else, it's hard to read tone. If someone articulates themselves well, if someone has a thought, you can kind of read into it more. But if it's just like drivel in post-game chat, like, it could be a parody, it could be completely serious, somebody could be complaining, they could be talking about how they feel, they could be making fun of somebody else in their group. It could be an inside joke, you never really know. And in a way, it doesn't really matter. Oh, I love this map. I gotta stop alt tabbing. It's gonna make my shaders behave weird. I say. I missed it, now I'm stuck waiting out new ones. Can you drop this and gold for me? I'd like to grab you. Where's this works too? Lightweight's a fun perk. Because this area of the map kinda sucks, and I can come back to it kinda quickly, I'm not gonna tunnel him off a fuck. We're gonna put her up in the pain of a sec first. If Shaq isn't almost done, you're good, wonderful. We've got all the time. My god, this band is such a stereotype. Super immersed. They really ran to main to heal. These are people that cannot stay injured for the life of them. And they did that before Grim Embrace too. Like, don't get me wrong, healing during Grim Embrace is something to do with the time, but these guys have no urgency. I love every killer at least a little bit. My most played by far is Nurse. I wouldn't say Nurse is my favorite. I've loved the Unknown just as much, Wesker just as much, and the previous Flight just as much. My worst killer is probably Slinger. Especially now that I'm playing on such a high DPI. I really enjoy playing M1 Loop 8 sometimes, but I think that M1 Loop 8 and setup killers can in their own way be like the least fun, but even those I still enjoy a lot and I go out of my way to play them. For example, I have a lot of time on Hag too. If I had to give you a definite answer, the Unknown is probably my favorite right now. But on a different day I would have said Billy, I would have said Nurse, I would have said Blight. It's hard for me to answer questions like that because I don't really think that way. This almost reminds me of Springwood. How in the House of Pain the audio occlusion is like really tight and you can't hear an almost completed generator, depending on what direction you face. But I wonder if the way you face matters for that one. I never really interact with it because there's no reason to come here as killer. if you add like add-ons, then like yeah, I don't like Tombstone. Tombstone Piece is awesome. Tombstone Piece and the play with your food gimmick. Isn't it really it? Or like Compound 7, the one that turns your camera for you, makes playing Blight feel awesome. So yeah, then there are things I dislike, but you don't have to play them to play the killer. When I play Tombstone Pierce Myers, I often find myself slugging somebody, and then like Foxy camping a second down with a 99 Tombstone. And so like one person slugged, one person dies on hook, and the on-hooker gets more. Something like that is like a really normal thing. I also really love new metas. Like when we had Call of Brine Overcharge Eruption, I was running around with Wesker. I went on like a 2,500 game streak or shit like that. Like really, one trick status, only playing Wesker for a month at a time. For like a multiple month period. And I really enjoyed the hit and run, make people run out of supply cases meta. That was really nice. And Wesker, if you wanted to stop someone from bleeding out, you could carry them, you could down them with M2. And they wouldn't have any bleed timer. So if somebody was hiding, you'd have games where you could just backpack somebody or you'd toss them in the direction you need to go and then carry them from there. That was really cool. And then when Call of Brine Eruption Overcharge got gutted, and we moved off to like the Pain Resonance Dead Man Switch meta, that was kind of nice because I went from slugging or hit and run every game, and sometimes not even downing people. We have 1 hour matches where people just reset over and over again to proxying and tunneling off of her, like you see now. I mean, this was really nice when it was fresh. Yeah, we got a bunch of them. sellers? I don't know. Maybe. I've had people tell me that they quit the game because of me. When I formerly streamed on Twitch TV, the person that got me into it was somebody I initially met in DBD, and she told me she uninstalled because of her experiences playing against me. So that's the thing. I've also had people say, oh, I got into DBD a lot, I thought this was something I play now and then, but now I think it's deeper and I want to play more, I want to learn things. And it goes the other way too. I've also seen people get like really excited and then find out that like a lot of the game wasn't how I play it. And people got like really discouraged and then found out like, oh, this isn't your normal experience either, and they warmed up to the game more after getting easier and more forgiving matches. Sabo players. Actually, I'm tricking right now. Don't get me wrong, I'm much sharper when I don't. And you know what actually surprisingly hurts me more than alcohol does? I play worse than caffeine. Caffeine is the worst. It makes me inconsistent, it makes me jittery. And what should be muscle memory is something I have to think about and kind of confirm. They talk about it in FPS games a lot, the difference between flick shots and play shots. Caffeine is really bad for DBD performance. Especially if you play like mechanical killers like Billy and Blight. And one of the reasons like I'm so quote unquote chill, at least by my standards right now, is because I'm well, obviously feeling pretty good. Left to my own normal devices, I'm obviously like a little bit better than this. And that's what I was saying earlier, when I'll play to the best of my ability at that time. And sometimes that's 100%, sometimes that's like 30%. Look at her camcordering me. Oh, no, she was just, panicked. She slow-balls that in front of my face with that decisive strike. I love this woman. Yeah, it happens kind of frequently. They do. Now there's no unbreakable in play, so if she's going to, no exponential in play, so if she's going to unbreakable, we know it's only one time. And because Bill was slugged and he didn't use, he doesn't have unbreakable. That's a funny thought. There's an inside joke in one of the Discords I'm in where people tell me to hop on and give survivors the blood point incentive. Hey, look, Too Swift. That's wholesome. We have people playing together. I mean, I'm drinking pretty heavily. If I was gonna drop my MMR, today's the day to do it, no? Unfortunately, I still seem to be winning. I'm just chilling. I spent half of this game all tapped on Reddit, dude. It's not that serious. I don't play killer or stream. Like, what you get is what you say. What you see is what you get. I appreciate the sentiment. And I'm glad you think it looks good. I'm actually kind of half here right now. It's a funny thought. I'm definitely much better when I'm alert and, you know, sober. I guess my B game is good enough to win this, though. I think I'm like Devotion 81 right now. How good I think I am has nothing to do with beating these players. also okay. I'm not an ego player. In hindsight, looking at the lobby, I mean, of course I'm gonna win this. But we're playing for fun, right? I don't see the problem. Did you have fun? I had fun. I also realized that the MMR skill brackets, for the most part, don't work. I never brag. Behavior is more worried about quick queue times and fair matches. Yeah, that can happen. And you're saying I'm a quote-unquote good blight, and while that's very much true, you wouldn't know it by that game. This is like 30% effort, dude. I'm big chilling. There's no bragging rights to be earned from killing you. And I don't have a horse in the race. Well, I waited longer than you. If I can do this in essentially all of my games and still have low MMR, that's a different problem. And I don't have the details, so I don't know. You could be absolutely right. But I make no special efforts to lower or manipulate my MMR in any way. And personally, I really prefer when my games are super hard. I like to struggle. And so that wasn't exactly my first choice either. If I had the option of only playing matches that I lost, I would take it in a heartbeat. I'm a little bit more chill about it right now because, again, like, I'm tipsy and I'm just queuing up and having fun. But I, for the most part, really like to quote-unquote stress test myself and push and get better. It wasn't that hard tunneling. I slugged somebody first. And that's also not on me. You guys just didn't split up. Like, don't get me wrong, the loadout was pretty good. Especially on the map, like, Light plays nice with horizontal mobility and Azarovs. Well, this is how I chill. I understand that might have been, like, quote-unquote sweatier than a lot of your games. But my sweat and your idea of sweat might be two very different things. I'm just playing for fun. And I hope you enjoyed it. Worst case scenario, I had a good time playing with you. At least I waited out my corrupt. Maybe this team is smarter. Yeah, there's just some of them. From the previous match, I believe. Why are you on that data? I have to interrupt you. Maybe you'll get on it again. Maybe you'll think I have, like, no idea anymore. Those are 14 seconds apiece. Maybe it's just a tomb challenge. Hook her next to it. That'd be pretty funny. Well, no deli. And brakes on Leon.